Welcome to Cooking with Miss O again, and today we are going to be talking about a superfood. In the next couple of weeks, this is what we're going to do with our shows. We're going to do superfoods, one superfood at a time. And peaches, since they're still in season here in South Carolina, upstate, I want to talk about them. Peaches have the most 18 different benefits if you eat it. So I'm going to show you different ways to do this, and you could do it at home. And the peaches are beautiful right now, so go to your vegetable stands or go over to Spartanburg or to Georgia, and they all have wonderful peaches right now. You can also, I'm going to show you how you can freeze peaches too and put them in your freezer and have them all winter too. Now, school has just started back here in Pickens County yesterday, and so moms need snacks for when they get home, and we need to have healthy snacks. I was a teacher of third grade at Central Elementary, and the kids that had so much sugary things after school and at breakfast, and we're going to do a little bit with breakfast too here, they had a hard time focusing and learning. And so people don't realize that children can't handle, well, we can't either, a lot of sugar. So unless it's natural sugar, like with the peaches. And two of the fruits that are also superfoods, which we will talk about their benefits later, go real good with the peaches, and that's the strawberries and the blueberries. Now in my Ingalls, you get strawberries and blueberries organic because they get them from Florida and California after our season is done. So we get that pretty much in the fall. And what I do is I freeze up a bunch of the blueberries so I can have them in my, because I do a lot with them with smoothies and pancakes and waffles. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to do a platter like this. You could take it out when they get home from school. You could do it if you're having people over, or just in the refrigerator so that people can just grab this. I've already peeled two of the peaches, and I wanted to tell you too that somebody said to me they couldn't afford to cook. And that kind of bothered me, and it was because they thought that they had to have the most expensive tools, and they don't. So today, the things I am using are either from Walmart or from Ingalls. I want to show you, except for my knife. My knife is Pampered Chef, but I did buy a knife from Walmart, and it was excellent, y'all. And I bought it, it was a bigger knife, not for peaches. So I just wanted to buy one to see how it was, and it was really good. Now, when you have the peach, you peel it, and then you still have this right here, and you want to cut down to that seed, or pit, actually. And then if you do that, all you have to do is cut around like that, make them as hot, as thick as you want or as thin as you want. And kids who have been diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, and all of that, I want to tell you as a teacher, and with my situation with my kids and everything, I have found out that if you put kids that have both of those things, they will be able to focus if you take processed food and sugar out of their diet. And I'm not talking about fruit like this. This is a natural sugar, and that doesn't rev them up like that. And it's much better than putting them on medicine. Whenever I was teaching and they would come in and they were on Ritalin and stuff, I asked the parents to take them off of it and take them off sugar. And I never had any problems with those children. They actually excelled very well, and they were very happy, and they weren't angry, because sometimes that medicine does that to them. And so if you have a child that has that, just keep them off sugar and diet sugar, diet Cokes, any of that kind of stuff. I have done a study on Cokes too, and have found out that if you drink Cokes regularly, just regular Cokes, they damage your lungs. If you do any kind of drink that's diet, it actually causes strokes. That's why we have so many strokes in young children and young people, and it's because of the diet drinks. Now we're going to finish this one up, and this plate looks good. We've already washed these, And we did it through opening it up. And this is the one that's hard for me to open. But then you can drain it out here. There's some water still coming out. You open it and then you know, I'm probably going to have to get a cameraman here if this doesn't work. This is terrible, y'all. Excuse me. Here is our North Greenville girl, and I went to North Greenville before I went to Clemson. Turn around and smile for him, please. Thanks so much. And she was in Dr. Beam's class, weren't you? Thanks for opening it. I appreciate it. Now, we're going to put these blueberries here. And if you don't fill up your kids with a lot of sugar and stuff, they will think fruit is wonderful. And this is organic. I got it at Ingles. And they have it there with the naan. I do the strawberries are on one side of a big place like this, and then they have the naan. You don't have to get the organic. If you can't afford it, it's fine, just as long as you're eating fruit. And I got the organic today. Now, this is what we're going to do here. We're just going to put these in here. I'm afraid if I dump these are going to roll everywhere. So, now you can let your kids help with this. You can get a dish like this, plastic, where it's divided like this, and do it. And your kids would love doing stuff like this. I had a lot of kids that would always come over in the neighborhood because I was the only mom home in the neighborhood. And when I quit teaching. And so I would do different things like this, and Mandy Finley, who was my daughter's best friend, and in her wedding and everything, she lived next door, and she would come over and she would cook with us. When I was teaching Marie, she would cook too, and she loved it. Well, she went to Daniel High School for her home ec class, her first time with the home ec class, and she came home and said, Miss Oxenine, they don't know how to cook. The teacher doesn't know how to cook. And I said, what are you talking about, Mandy? She's a home ec teacher. She said, it's called foods class now. She said she gave us a stick of butter and a box of macaroni and cheese, and that's what we made. And I said, the whole stick y'all put in? She said, yes. And she said, we didn't even make the cheese for scratch or anything like that. So that bothered her a whole lot, and we laughed about that. And but I think that was not the teacher that couldn't cook. That was what they had set up for the program for that. Now, this is what we're going to do. And when you do this, you need to put it in the refrigerator, not leave it out too long. But we're going to do the organic vanilla yogurt. This gives the kids probiotics. And we're going to spoon some of this right in here. And then you can just dip it. Look. Instead of putting it with powdered sugar, what we do on strawberries a lot of time, just do this, and it's wonderful. Now, I'm not going to double dip because these guys maybe will be eating this after we're done, and the camera people. But I know kids do double dip, so if you want to, maybe have little plastic cups, the small kind, and put some yogurt in there, and then they can double dip like that. The strawberries are wonderful. You can also do this for breakfast, and then do scrambled eggs and let them have their fruit first and their yogurt. Now, another thing we're going to do here right now is we're going to, let me put this over here. We are going to show you, I've got two of them. This was at Walmart, and this was at Ingles, and these weren't expensive. And these, I used it last year with my Pampered Chef, and they work just as well, y'all. And they're very inexpensive. And I thought if you have little kids, they would really like this. Now, this is what you do. This is for eggs or strawberries, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to cut off the leaf here, and it's going to make nice slices. So kids can do this. We're going to put this in here in the bottom. Let me put it up here. Just hold it up a little bit and it'll come out, I think. I didn't do it good enough, I guess. Let me just put it on this plate. There. We'll do 2 of those. Well, let me show you this one here. And this is the one that's more like the Pampered Chef. So if you don't have little kids that would like this, that's all right. Now this came from Ingles. Be careful not to cut your finger. And then we're going to fill this up with peaches first. Then we're going to layer some yogurt. Yogurt has protein and probiotics in it, so this is a protein snack, and with all the fruit. Don't want to cover it up. We'll do this. This is kind of a big one, so this would be good for junior high, upper elementary, but you might want a smaller thing for kids, for little kids. And let's do some more of the strawberries. Put something on it like that. Now, I didn't have to do this with Pampered Chef, but it does do it. And this is the one from Ingles. And it cuts them nice. Now, if you want, I also told this person that if you want to have like the Pampered Chef or the Tupperware or something like that, you could sell it, or you can have a party and get it free, and you could do your kitchen. And now we will put some blueberries. And you can do as many layers as you want to, but first see how much your kids will eat so you don't waste it. And then we're going to stand up a nice piece of peach. There you go. For an after-school protein and probiotic snack. Let's do now. We're going to a break. Thanks so much.
The sun is slowly rising across the hills of Caroline. I feel something in the air.
Hey, I'm so glad y'all are back. Now we finished up the fruit tray. We have this parfait, and now we're going to do a breakfast. Now these can be for breakfast too, but and I would recommend scrambled eggs and leave off the meat if it's bacon and stuff like that, because the preservatives and stuff in that kind of stuff also can mess with the children a lot because they have nitrates in it. Now we're going to do my homemade out of my cookbook, Cooking with Miss O, that I know all of y'all have seen. And we're doing the day 3 breakfast, the whole wheat waffles. Now, I have my whole wheat berries here, and I have my oat groats. The oat groats are lighter than the wheat berries, and they're longer. So, and I don't know if you can tell that on the show, but we've already ground it, and as y'all remember, and people that don't know, there's the grinder I have at my home, and it's real easy to do. Now, when I grind this, either you can mix both of these in the waffles, or if you just want one or the other. But if you're going to do oats, do a little bit of the wheat in it, and that would it just needs it. But I wanted to tell you too, there's only 72 hours after you grind it, before the nutrition is gone. And it slowly deteriorates in those 72 hours. So I grind right when we're gonna eat. And that makes it so much easier. What I wanna tell you about that, the benefits of whole wheat, it has more fiber than anything you eat that's not fruit or vegetables. If you have different things like celiac and all like that, they diagnosed my kids with celiac, turned out the whole wheat, fresh ground, healed them of all of that. And a lot of people have the gluten. Well, you know, the gluten is not what they say it is. All of the flour after 72 hours, and it's probably not even in the grocery store at that point, is dead. Anything made out of flour or oats or anything, it doesn't matter, all of it's dead after 72 hours. So that's why it's important to grind your grains, and it's easy, and it's also cheaper. It reduced my grocery bill in half when I did all by scratch like this. Now, Ingles is my sponsor, and I go there, so I do their organic milk. And then I get all of this there too. I do sea salt. There's another new salt out. We'll talk about that in one show, but I really like the sea salt a lot. And the organic spices and the vanilla, and they also have almond and lemon in that too. All right, on here it says to do 2 cups of flour, and I'm gonna have to put my dollar store glasses on, y'all. And I want you to see, it's dark and then it's light from us grinding just a few minutes ago. So we want 2 cups of this. You can do this in half if you want to. Now, this is much lighter than whole wheat flour you get in the store because it's already dead, and when it dies after the 72 hours, it becomes very heavy. And this is very light. People are really surprised. Now, we're going to do 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and this, I do the Rumford's. It is aluminum free, and I do the reduced sodium. That's at Ingles. There's only one bad thing, and I get this at Ingles, about this sea salt. It is so hard to, sometimes to get, and I'm hoping this will do it. This one, oh, it does. This one does. Most of the spoons won't fit, and this is the one I just bought at Ingles. These, to show you that you can have all this, and this will go in it perfectly, and I've never had that happen. So it was 1 teaspoon of salt. We've got to whisk this powdered stuff up first. And then we're going to put in the egg. And I got the egg at Ingles too, and there is the carton, and it's theirs. I've bought different organic ones at Ingles and other places, and this has the flag on it for American. Their own brand organic eggs is the best I've ever had. And then we're going to do the skim milk and the olive oil. We'll do 1/4 of a cup, and I always use the Patarli. And I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, but this is the olive oil I use, and it's 1/4 of a cup. And then we're going to do the milk, and it is 1 3/4 cup. So we're going to do the 3/4 first. Now I do fat-free, and you don't have to do that. You can do the full milk for your kids, but I don't have a gallbladder, and so it's harder for me to digest it. And I can with the fat-free. So if that has happened to y'all, the fat-free doesn't bother you. Now, it's 1 teaspoon of the vanilla. And I've been using this since I started doing organics. This company that wasn't in the store, Simply Organic, and it's from Colorado. And it is the best stuff, spices and all of the flavorings that I've ever had. So smell it when you open it. Let your kids smell it because it's so different than the non-organic. And the reason why you want to do organic on spices and stuff like that, because some spices are out of the United States. And in the United States, they outlawed DDT in the 80s. And DDT was causing cancer in children and us and on our food. But a lot of companies, to get it cheaper in the United States, they went outside the United States where the DDT was. And so be real careful about that. And that's why I do organics, because they don't do that. Okay, now this is a Walmart waffle iron. It's a rival, and let's do this. We're gonna put it in here. I'll set that down. I think I'm gonna do the cup. That is so much easier. I usually use a cup with this at home. It makes a little bit of a mess, but it's not as bad as a spoon. Now we're going to put this all over here. And it will just be a few minutes. We're going to go to a break, and when you come back, we will have a waffle.
So free, make a choice to truly
Welcome back. We just have a few more minutes, and I want to go over this. We did the with the waffle iron from Walmart, which is an inexpensive one. We have the whole wheat waffles, and we have the strawberries on here. So we're also going to put some peaches on there. Here we go. And you can also cut up the peaches real fine if you want to, and put them in the batter. After you put the batter on the waffle iron, then put on the cubes of peaches or blueberries. Blueberries do real well. And let's come over here and get us some blueberries. I need to be taller, y'all. Here we go. And if you don't want to do syrup, look how pretty this is. And this is how healthy it is. In the later shows, we will be talking about the strawberries benefits and the whole wheat benefits and the blueberry ones. Now, I used to have to buy it in jugs from Wisconsin, but now they have it in the store. So I use this organic maple syrup on this. If I'm going to put syrup on it, I want to do very little because you don't need much. But I also will tell you the benefits of this too, because maple syrup has wonderful benefits for us. I just pour a little bit in there, and I keep this in the refrigerator when it's after it's been open like this. And I would advise you to not let your kids pour it. Have it in a little thing. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoy it. Have a blessed day. Thank you.